introduce you to, and I'm just going to zoom the my camera out a little bit so we can fit everyone in. So come on over. I'm going to introduce you to Katie, Sian and Jed. So come and, Sian, if you want to come over here, and Jed maybe up back here, and Katie, Sian, you can stand there. I'll just get in beside you. So everyone, meet these wonderful ex-steppies, and they've actually been where you're sitting right now, haven't you? This is a familiar lecture. You've been here, and I asked Katie and Sian and Jed to come along today to talk just a little bit about their experiences in STEPS and now their experiences at an undergraduate level. So the first question you can see on the screen there is I asked Katie and Sian and Jed to reflect on what are you studying at university and why did you choose that particular degree? So Katie, over to you first up.
Okay. I'm studying Bachelor of Education, Early Childhood. It's something that I've always wanted to do, but you know, life gets in the way, and next year my 3-year-old goes to kindy, so I thought it's time to do something for myself and get out there and get myself a career.
Yay! Good on you. Jed, tell us what you're doing.
I'm studying electrical engineering, so I'm doing a Bachelor of Engineering majoring in electrical. I started down this path because in the very, very long term I actually want to get into asteroid mining, which obviously isn't an industry that exists just yet, but in order to be ready for it when it does happen, I need the relevant skills and experience. So yeah, I started on the journey. I actually failed maths and physics in high school, so going through the STEPS course really helped me prepare for the electrical engineering part of it.
Wow, thank you. Okay, and Sian, what are you doing?
I'm doing a Bachelor of Psychology, which is now called Psychological Science. Yeah, that's the one. That's something that I always wanted to do. I too was terrified of maths, was never any good at it, missed all the basics at school, so doing the maths course here really helped. And I didn't think I would actually get a chance to go to uni and do a degree, so coming to STEPS was like the best thing ever.
Okay, so do you want to keep going on that then? Because the second question is, in what ways did STEPS prepare you for your undergraduate experience? So you've
many.
So many?
So many. Yeah, giving me confidence just to know that I can be successful in a university environment is a really big thing, because at school, academically, I didn't succeed at all. I was always that kid that was just left out and rejected. A bit sort of shy and awkward, still shy, still awkward, but working on it, and yeah, just the maths, essay writing, essential for my degree and probably a lot of degrees in university. What else? Oh, I had it all written down.
That's all right, we'll come back to you.
Can I get my laptop? I had it all written down.
Oh, you got it on your laptop?
I
Oh
do.
my gosh.
I'm
Okay.
organised.
Okay, go get it. Okay, Jed, just in answer to in what ways did STEPS prepare you for your undergraduate experience, you mentioned that you didn't do so well with maths and science at school.
Yeah, so basically, I didn't do so well while I was in high school, and when I came to STEPS, I was not expecting to do particularly well in maths, but the STEPS course, the way that it's all presented, is actually extremely understandable, extremely simple, and I was able to get through that really well. So, and from that, I actually did 4 terms of STEPS course preparation in order to get into electrical engineering. And because of that, I felt extremely prepared for when I started doing the engineering component. Like there's quite a lot of maths and quite a lot of physics in engineering, in general. And having done all of this preparatory stuff just before getting into the course really helped my confidence levels. Helen, you mentioned earlier that we had that critical self-reflection was a big thing as well.
Yes.
And that's something that comes into play quite a lot in engineering. You need to be able to reflect on what you have done in the past, where you're going, and what you have learnt. And that's all something you have to be able to write down eloquently, succinctly, and then compose it all into a very large portfolio, which is what actually determines your grade for one of the subjects.
There you go. So it's not airy-fairy stuff. Engineers use critical self-reflection. You heard it here, everyone.
Absolutely, every single week.
Okay.
And Oh, sorry.
No, you're right. Sorry.
Pop it down there.
Too organised.
There we go.
Sorry.
Keep going, Jed.
Other than that, another very useful skill was the report writing, because in engineering a lot of reports, you need to create a lot of reports. And in order to be able to do that in a fairly decent time frame and with putting out a decent quality content, having that experience in the STEPS course, knowing what is expected at a university level was extremely valuable. I've noticed when I compare the work that I put out in comparison to those who have just come straight out of high school, they don't know what the lecturers are actually after. But those people who went through the STEPS course understand the system, understand how to use Moodle, understand when to get everything uploaded and how to get extensions and all that sort of stuff. And it makes just a huge difference for my confidence levels, my stress levels, and also the content that I'm putting out.
Oh, great. Great to hear. And Katie, would you have some echo those sentiments?
Oh, absolutely. Everything that Jed said. As an education student, critical self-reflection is a huge part of my degree. Basically, one of our first assessments was reflecting on your experience through school and how that will make you, the way you're going to teach. And also, every lesson that you plan and do, you have to reflect on that. Every single day you have to do that. So that is such a great skill that we learn. And like I said, not airy-fairy. I thought it was. Sorry, Ella. And it's a hard thing to do. It is, but it is a skill that is ongoing. And just all the practical things like essay writing, how to find good sources of information. And I think even in your everyday life, knowing if a source of information is, relevant or correct is a good thing. Going through Facebook, you see something and you think it looks a bit dodgy. So yeah, I think that's another good skill. Formatting, time management, goal setting, all of those things are really, essential for university study. And also, probably the main thing I got out of STEPS was a confidence in my own abilities and a sense of achievement, really.
Oh, Katie, great words. And Sian, you've got something written down
I've
here.
got my laptop now. I'm all organised.
Okay.
Can't live without it.
And what ways did STEPS prepare you?
Moodle. Getting to know Moodle. As you already said, just already knowing that system when you start uni is a really big head start, because you can just hit the ground running. You know how to submit assessments, you know how to check your grades. And as a distance student, that's really, really important, because most of your material is on that site. And staying on your forums is a big deal, because it's kind of like sitting in a big classroom with 300 other people, but you can tune into every single conversation and pause it and write stuff down and get all your answers that way, so you don't feel so overwhelmed or so lost.
Excellent advice.
Love Moodle.
Okay, so following on from that, the last question that I asked everyone to think about was, what advice would you give about starting a university degree? So, Jed, over to you first. These are people who are just on that cusp of, shouldn't I?
Getting into an engineering, any type of degree. Definitely, I would advise you keep hold of the STEPS books that you have. I've actually found that a lot of the times the STEPS books and the STEPS maths books and the essay writing books are better put than the actual official engineering books in terms of how clear they are, and in terms of how easy they are to understand, and in terms of how well they are organised. And in that regard, when I go into an examination, often you're allowed to bring textbooks and other resources with you. I actually bring in my STEPS books, because they have the information in such a way which is much more easily accessible and much better for me in that environment.
Okay, that's a really great thing to think about. I hadn't even thought about, you know, how useful they would be long term. So
Absolutely.
that's really great that you said that. Katie?
I absolutely agree. I've got that written down. I've gone back to my STEPS books numerous times, whether it be in computers to know how to format my essays, how to reference, even those self-reflection skills, going back and looking at those, it's been really vital for me. The one thing I would say is to try and build a really good support network for yourself, especially if you're a distance student. I've been really lucky to meet up with 2 girls that are doing the same degree, and their support's been absolutely invaluable to me, so that's been really good. And just get yourself organised, I suppose. That's not one of my inherent skills, and I'm still really working on it, but it's really vital to be organised, especially as a distance student, because it's too easy to get yourself behind.
Yeah. So we've got a sort of a range of modes that you're studying in. Katie, you're doing something called supported distance, where
That's
you get a
right.
little bit of on-campus support.
Yeah.
Jed's actually based at the Gladstone campus, so engineering is offered
Internally, all 4 years now.
all 4 years internally. And Sian, you're our distance student, but you do travel up to Rocky sometimes to attend some
Yeah.
classes. Yeah, so you get a bit of a taste of that. But you've also mentioned that the online forums are so important to establish your classroom atmosphere. So finally, Sian, what advice would you give to the people who are sitting out there in distance land and here in the room?
That was actually my thing on my laptop, Helen. Thanks
Oh.
for asking. Advice for distance students or anyone thinking about studying but not sure if you want to because it is distance, it's not as scary as it sounds. I promise you. I was terrified. I nearly didn't want to start my degree because it was distance. It's not that
I
bad.
remember.
Yeah, I didn't
You
want
wanted
to do
to
it.
stay here with me.
I still do. But yeah, no, it's not as scary. Forums will help you most of the way, and you really just need to keep yourself motivated, whether that's reminding yourself why you're doing your degree, 6 cups of coffee a day, that's okay, some days 2 or more. And just really tracking yourself. Buy a calendar, stick it on the wall, giant red pen marker for any of your assessment due dates, those sorts of things, just being organised, and that'll sort of help keep you on check. If you've got those little reminders sort of around the house and things, you go, oh, I've got to do that, so you don't end up just getting back into bed, I guess.
There's also Blackboard Collaborate that we use via distance. So it's basically a lecture. You can talk. It's probably similar to this setup. And it does feel like you're part of a class. And it's very interactive. So you're not alone. It can sometimes feel a little isolating, but there's always support through the uni.
Excellent. I'm just astounded that how much wisdom 3 people can actually fit into one room. So thank you so much for coming along and sharing all that wisdom with us today. Can you please thank our guests?